Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to MAMI TV Primetime English News. This is ROMEE NINGOMBAM. Now the news in details. A total of 31 cadres of 5 proscribed militant group KCP, PWG, PRIPAC, KYKL, PRIPAC VC and another group laid down arms before Chief Minister N. Biren. A homecoming ceremony for the 31 UZ cadres was held at Manipur Rifles Banquet Hall organized by Home Department. Ministers, MLAs and top-ranking officials attended the ceremony. The cadres, including 4 women cadres of KCP PWG, surrendered 15 arms and ammunitions, 1 M16 rifle, 1 M4 rifle with magazines, 1 leaded gun with 3 rounds, 1 single-barrel gun with 5 rounds, 3.32 pistols with 1 magazine each, 3.22 pistols with 1 magazine each, 1 IED weighing around 5 kg, 1.12 mm pistol and 4.32 pistols with magazine. Speaking on the occasion, Chief Minister N. Biren said the Northeast states witnessed unrest for the last 2 decades by deploying army in the region without knowing ground reality of the region. Many did not value lives back then. The future of the state had been put on risk under the influence of AFASPA in the state for a long time now. He said, it is unfortunate that the state still faces communal influence. He expressed displeasure in the disturbances of academic atmosphere due to frequent ban and strikes. Any community can request their demands to the state and can be granted if the demands are reasonable since the government follows the constitution. BJP will also follow the constitution, he assured. Stating that peace and development go hand in hand, Chief Minister appealed to the militants' outfits to lay down arms and join in the state's development. It is important to become an active citizen of the state by taking the benefits of surrender cum rehabilitation scheme. Chief Minister Biren appealed to the cadres to lead a good life and avail the benefits of different government schemes.
All the time, strike, ban, agitation, mindset very unfortunate. Mamaki community line work leave it. Tanning Batalo, Pining Bahayo, Pig the way when a Peter Lord. Madam Zada, this will be Biro, Madam Zada Pineway. We are working under the Constitution of India. Disciplined society, no differences between the community, no differences between the hill and the plain. We are one. Aduga, Adali Huri Bokana Sanaba, Marumpang, Tolopana Texada and Labusing Shoe, Yarga de Pau Pibirga, Skogi Gomen, Gibar Sarkargi, Fazagraba homecoming scheme Sida, where men streams are joined Torga, Apun Bharat Ramagida Makta, Aduga Pun Manipur, Ramagida, we walked on Minasi and Hijaga, Punama.
Works Minister Govindas Kontausam has said, strengthening press media houses is essential for developing a country. He made the statement while attending the observance of National Press Day held today at Manipur State Film Development Society MSFDS Palace Auditorium to commemorate the establishment of Press Council of India. It was organized by Directorate of Information and Public Relations. Speaking on the occasion, freedom of press is very important in democracy. Development of a country depends on the strength of media houses. People must respect the responsibilities of media and must care for the people working in the field. Stating that the state government has taken steps for the welfare of the state, Government Govindas assured to take up steps for the well-being of journalist fraternity.
Tasingama akanba press media, print media sing labor countries sing sidadi yamna fava kumang sausinba transparency labor accountability labor oina mangjin thana satpangami heduna dumaina takbi aduna press ki importance asukmatik yam wangre yam laigre aduna akoina media ki importance di akoi loina puna mangna akoi khangi but whether akoina caring to ra haibaduna media person sing or press ki laiba mi sing se caring to darkar tai sing maramdi they are not working for themselves, they are working for the welfare of the people. Prajagi nungai phanaba prajagi phannabi damaka thabak tawani makhoi lanai gi thabak mata natti.
Taking part in the observance, IPR Minister Dr. S. Ranjan said, people believe the news published by the media. There had been times when people even believed the news published without solid proof. Hence, it is important to fact-check to publish ethical news, he said. With the advancement of technology, news travels fast these days. Ranjan expressed concern over some unrecognized groups disseminating news on social media.
Whatever media na haiba, iba, ayam truth ne long sees the I think it's a point to discuss. And a column zina idring I do that. How truth it is. I bet to be young got now the name biba matota Brian can say. Technology chocolate but dissemination give process to yamna hana punga machanga madosi second amada pause spread of gibungam banina sigi matang zene in a uncontrolled pen gi kitang akoi section ba ma mathau ta Brian kali achumba puthonging bagi in the midst achumba hiding bagi damakta some unparliamentary words adum tabada nuai adum yawda banate I appeal to them so much because curtail to biraga become the responsible media ne have bagi wakal bondu da adum akoi chatpada yamna kanaba wegani hedana khanjai.
During the observance, 7 journalists were conferred the Manipur State Journalist Award, 8 categories. Editor of Sanalai Bagh Delhi, Ningombam Hemanta Kumar, won the Best Editor on National Integration and Communal Harmony. Staff reporter of Sanalai Bagh, Robinson Wahengbam, won an award for reporting art and culture. Staff reporter Moirangthem Khagemba Maitei won for rural reporting and health and hygiene reporting. Maibam Kennedy of Sanalai Bagh for Science and Technology reporting, Huyen Lanpao, sub-editor Kumucham Joychan, won in sports reporting. Reporter Rabita Kelembam of Sanalai Bagh won the Women and Children reporting, and Sanalai Bagh sub-editor Taurem Beswazit won in parliamentary reporting. Works Minister Govindas Konthausam, IPR Minister Dr. S. Ranjan, Minister of Social Welfare H. Dingo, Commissioner of Art and Culture M. Joy, President of All Manipur Working Journalists Union Amju Wangkhemcha Samjai, President of Editors Guild Manipur EGM Kogendra Komdram, President of Manipur Hill Journalists Union Peter Edani were the chief guests, President, guest of honor, and special guest of the observance. Minister of Youth Affairs and Sports Govindas Konthausam has said state government's benefits will be given to those players who played at international level. He made the statement today during the inauguration program of Khelo India Center for Rowing at Takmu Water Sports Complex organized by District Youth Affairs and Sports Office, Bisnupur. Speaking on the occasion, there are many sportspersons who won gold medals in the national level. Due to the increasing number of national players, the state government will no longer give government benefits to the national players. It will only be provided to sportspersons who took part in the Commonwealth Games, Asian Games and Olympics, he said. He appealed to the athletes to work hard to compete in international area. Minister Govindas informed that the remaining infrastructure and equipment will be sanctioned by the Government of India within this month.
National ki gold phang pada na national ki champion oi pada koi na he na yang na kana ba phangoi ha ba se koi thamoi da tham le ha ga pukning sakna ai ki pangal lausin bonong tu to ha ga rowing oi ro canoeing oi ro kayaking oi ro ai na ngambat sakti hona le ha ga international ge na da thokpa manna ba hona si ha wa phang kar si tham ja ba lo na nasi ge suma Hello India Center Bishnupur District for rowing Takmu Water Sports Complex Moyanda Center Pangthok Riba Hangok Kato Riba Center Asina Asian Commonwealth Amasung International Olympic ki thakda afaba sanore putoko ngamba oresanu haidna yamna ima Dr. Garen Bibu Kholom Zabolona Ibudok Thamjin Muso Kholom de Mayam Pino Kholom de
MLA of Moirang AC Thongam Santi, Chairman of LDA M. Asni Kumar, Director of YAS T. Pulan Meitei, Assistant Director of YAS Anita Chanu, and President of Bisnupur District Rowing Association On Nobin took part in the inauguration program. Police has arrested a UDC of Imphal West Employment Exchange, Lamphelpat, for receiving bribe money from the applicants submitting application forms for the post of follower, constable and the head constable of Manipur Police Department. In a press note released by Superintendent of Vigilance and Anti-Corruption, Manipur, a team of Vigilance and Anti-Corruption Police Station arrested Laisram Raghumani, aged 57, son of late El Kali of Nambol Bazar in Bisnupur district, was arrested last evening around 5:30 p.m. He was arrested in connection with an FIR registered at the police station under Section 7 of PC Act 1988 on charges of demanding and receiving bribe money from the applicants submitting filled-up forms for the post of follower, constable and the head constable of Manipur Police Department. The case was initiated based on a complaint report from the Public Grievance, Redressal and Anti-Corruption Cell, Chief Minister's Secretariat. The complaint was referred to the Superintendent of Police, Vigilance and Anti-Corruption, Manipur, who, after thorough inquiry into the complaint, arrested Raghumani, it added. President Draupadi Murmu will present Arjun Award to Manipur's Olympian judoka NINGOMBAM Susila during an event at Rashtrapati Bhavan, New Delhi, to be held on November 30. As per the National Sports Award list released by the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports, silver medalist at the Birmingham Commonwealth Games 2022, judoka NINGOMBAM Susila was included on the list. Let's take a short commercial break.
Welcome you all to UNACO School Channel Imphal East, an exclusive co-educational residential school located on a sprawling 50 acres campus just 24 kilometers away from Imphal city. The school will be affiliated to CBSE New Delhi. Academic session will begin on 1st April 2023 for classes 4 to 8. Registration come admission open for 2023 and 24 session.
Dr. Helena Optometric College North AOC Imphal के academic session 2022-23 के admission housere program offer Bachelor of
Welcome back after the break. For the national news, the principle of data for development will be an integral part of the theme of India's G20 presidency, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said at the G20 summit in Bali, Indonesia. President of Indonesia, Joko Widodo, handed over the G20 presidency to India at the closing ceremony of the Bali summit. India will officially assume the G20 presidency on December 1. India takes charge of G20 when the world is grappling with geopolitical tensions, economic slowdown, rising food and energy prices, PM Modi said. PM Modi at the closing session of the G20 summit in Bali said that India's G20 presidency will be inclusive, ambitious, decisive and action-oriented. In the next 1 year, it will be countries' endeavor that G20 works as a global prime mover to give impetus to collective action. He added that the digital transformation should not be confined to a small part of the human race, and its greater benefits will be realized only when digital access becomes truly inclusive. Prime Minister Narendra Modi expressed deep grief over the loss of lives due to the stone quarry collapse in Mizoram. He also announced ex gratia from the Prime Minister's National Relief Funds for the kin of each deceased. The Prime Minister's office tweeted that his thoughts were with those who lost their loved ones due to the tragic stone quarry collapse in Mizoram. He announced an ex gratia of 2 lakh rupees to be given from PMNRF to the next of kin of its deceased and 50,000 rupees for the injured. Further, 3 more bodies were recovered on Tuesday from the debris of the stone quarry which collapsed at Maudhar village in Mizoram's Nathile district, informed Additional Deputy Commissioner Saizik Pui. So far, 11 bodies have been recovered and 1 person is still missing. The Additional Deputy Commissioner added, the teams of BSF, Assam Rifles, NDRF, State Police and District Administration are engaged in a search operation to retrieve the body of the remaining person, stated the Additional Deputy Commissioner. Earlier on Tuesday morning, the bodies of 8 migrant laborers were recovered after they were trapped when a stone quarry in Mizoram collapsed. A total of 999 nominations forms have been found valid out of the 1,362 forms filed for the first phase of the Gujarat Assembly polls in 89 seats, state election officials said today. Tuesday was the last day for the scrutiny of nomination forms for the first phase of elections to be held on December 1. The Election Commission started accepting forms for the first phase on November 5, and the last date was November 14. After due scrutiny, 999 forms were held valid, the Office of the State Chief Electoral Officer said in a release. For the second phase of election to be held on December 5 in 93 seats, 341 nomination forms have been received so far since November 10 when the progress began, it said. Meanwhile, Chief Minister Bhupendra Patel, who is contesting from Ghatlodiya seat in Ahmedabad, where voting will be held in the second phase, will file his nomination today. The last date of filing of nomination forms for the second phase is November 17, and their scrutiny will be held on November 18. The last dates of the withdrawal of candidature for the first and second phases are November 17 and 21 respectively. Congress leader Shashi Tharoor won campaign in Gujarat for next month's election after being left out of the list of the party's star campaigners. Shashi Tharoor was invited by the Congress student body to campaign in Gujarat, but he opted out since he was not on the list, sources said. The Congress has denied sidelining Tharoor, who ran for party president last month but predictably lost to Gandhi's back Mallikarjun Kharge. The Tribunathapuram MP was never on the star campaigners list earlier, party sources said. Sources close to Tharoor said he was never asked to campaign, so there is no question of opting out. New Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge, his predecessor Sonia Gandhi and her son Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi Vadra are on the list of 40 star campaigners for Gujarat, which will vote on December 1 and 5. The Congress campaign has been listed so far in Prime Minister Narendra Modi's home state, where the BJP has been in power for over 27 years. Arvind Kejriwal's Aam Aadmi Party has campaigned aggressively to try and replace the Congress as the BJP's main rival in the state. Now for the international news, UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak has given the go-ahead for 3,000 visas for young professionals from India to work in the UK each year. The British government said India is the first visa national country to benefit. Let's take a short commercial break.
Welcome you all to UNACO School Channel Imphal East, an exclusive co-educational residential school located on a sprawling 50 acres campus just 24 km away from Imphal city. The school will be affiliated to CBSE New Delhi. Academic session will begin on 1st April 2023 for classes 4 to 8. Registration come admission open for 2023 and 24 session.
Specialities da matik charva infrastructure galoinana secure campus, spacious classroom amadi well-maintained library, meritorious students singi special fee concession amadi scholarship, well-qualified, dedicated amadi experience lairaba oza singna takpi tambigani, nupa macha amadi nupi macha gi secure amadi separate hostel, Dr. Helena Eye Hospital and Institute da Delhi training gi khudong chaba su leigani, loinana course asi hek loibaga India amadi avorta chada chama job placement leigani, akupa marol gi 9774065535 ta contact you.
Welcome you all to UNACO School Channel Imphal East, an exclusive co-educational residential school located on a sprawling 50 acres campus just 24 km away from Imphal city. The school will be affiliated to CBSE New Delhi. Academic session will begin on 1st April 2023 for classes 4 to 8. Registration come admission open for 2023 and 24 session.
Dr. Helena Optometric College North AOC Imphal के academic session 2022-23 के admission हौजरे program offer Bachelor of Optometry specialties दा matik charva infrastructure गलोइनना secure campus spacious classroom amadi well maintained library meritorious students singi special fee concession amadi scholarship well qualified dedicated amadi experience leiraba oza singna takpi tambigani nupa macha amadi nupi macha gi secure amadi separate hostel Dr. Helena Eye Hospital and Institute Delhi training की खुदों चाबसु लेगनी लोइनना course असी हेक लोइबका India अमदी अवॉर्डा चाद चामा job placement लेगनी अकुपा मरोल की दमक 9774065535 ता contact तौबियु.
Welcome you all to UNACO School Channel Imphal East, an exclusive co-educational residential school located on a sprawling 50 acres campus just 24 km away from Imphal city. The school will be affiliated to CBSE New Delhi. Academic session will begin on 1st April 2023 for classes 4 to 8. Registration come admission open for 2023 and 24 session.
Dr. Helena Optometric College North AOC Imphal के academic session 2022-23 के admission हौजरे program offer Bachelor of Optometry specialties दा matik charva infrastructure गलोइनना secure campus spacious classroom amadi well maintained library meritorious students singi special fee.
Welcome back after the break once again. For the international news, UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak has given the go-ahead for 3,000 visas for young professionals from India to work in the UK each year. The British government said India is the first visa national country to benefit from such a scheme, highlighting the strength of the UK-India migration and mobility partnership agreed last year. The UK Prime Minister's office said in a tweet that today the UK-India Young Professionals Scheme was confirmed, offering 3,000 places to 18 to 30-year-old degree-educated Indian nationals to come to the UK to live and work for up to 2 years. This announcement in the Downing Street readout came hours after Sunak met Prime Minister Narendra Modi on the sidelines of the 70th edition of the G20 summit. This was their first meeting after the first Indian origin British Prime Minister assumed office last month. It is said that the UK has more links with India than almost any country in the Indo-Pacific region. Nearly a quarter of all international students in the UK are from India, and Indian investment into the UK supports 95,000 jobs across the UK. In parallel to the mobility partnership with India, the British government said it is also strengthening its ability to remove immigration offenders. Ukrainian officials today said that the power supply was being gradually restored across the war-torn country, a day after devastating Russian airstrikes targeted its energy infrastructure. Some 10 million Ukrainians were left without electricity when dozens of Russian missiles hit power stations in the biggest aerial attack since the Russian invasion began in February. Today, fresh air red alerts were sounding again across the country, raising concerns over new attacks, but the warnings were lifted in the capital Kyiv minutes after. The deputy head of Zelensky's office, Kirilo Timosenko, specified that energy supplies have been fully restored in 8 regions, mostly in western and central Ukraine. On Tuesday, the Russian strikes also triggered automatic shutdowns of several reactors at 2 nuclear power plants, as Moscow and Kyiv have traded blame for attacks near several nuclear plants in Ukraine. And before we wind up the headlines once again. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it for MAMI TV Primetime English News. Thank you for tuning in.